That's true. We got a giant show coming up for you guys. Guardians picked up a big win. OTAs for the Browns start today. Mary Kay Cabot's going to join us on the show. The Cavs are still waiting to make a decision on the future of their team, top to bottom, essentially. We're going to talk about who has more trade value. Darius Garland or Jared Allen. The Eastern and Western Conference finals are set to tip off tonight, and tomorrow we'll break down a little bit of that. But first, what's up, Ant?
What's up, guys? I'm going to remind all of you right now that it's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and a lot more. All you guys have to do is visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
All right, let's start with the Guardians, guys. It was a 3-1 win over the Mets yesterday. That is 4 wins in a row for the Guards. 7 of their last 8 in the win column. Francisco Lindor has returned to Cleveland, went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. But, Jason, the story of this game was Ben Lively. Another stellar performance from the guy the Guardians found off the bargain bin. A 1-year, $750,000 deal to bring him in. Through this season, he has a 2.84 ERA. He's only allowed 12 runs in 38 innings pitched. He has 38 strikeouts. He's only allowed 35 hits and 12 walks. 2.84 ERA. Compare that to his career average, his career numbers, 4.71. He's allowed 129 earned runs over 246 innings. He only has 197 strikeouts in 246 innings. His hits are way up, and his walks are way up. This season's been a complete anomaly for Ben Lively.
Yeah.
But give credit to the Guardians for finding ways to get the most out of these. Bargain bin's not the right word. I mean it in no disrespectful way.
No, it is.
A bargain bin sign that they have turned into a legitimate weapon in this rotation right now. I think Ben Lively might be the biggest surprise in baseball so far, Jason.
He was a top 100 prospect at one point, but that was a long time ago with the Phillies. He's been on 4 teams now, Philly, KC, Cincinnati, and now Cleveland. I don't think I'm missing one. I was just trying to look it up. He's been – and that's a credit to this pitching factory that the Guardians have developed. And they've, what's really impressive about that is they've lost, Ruben Niebla was sort of one of the minds behind their pitching, and he's in San Diego now. And I think it's Matt White, the Yankees pitching coach, came from here, and he got a lot of credit for one of those guys, one of those pitching minds that really developed the factory. But the Guardians know what they're doing, man. They know how to develop pitching. They know how to reclaim pitchers, and he's not getting a lot of attention yet because it's only May, but Lively's turning into one of the best stories in baseball. If he continues this up into June and July, he's one of the best stories in the game this year.
Ben Lively, listen, this whole situation started when Shane Bieber went down, we all went into a panic because we was like, okay, what's going to go on? And Bull always sits over there and says at some point they got to trade for a starting pitcher. And I agree with him. But when you got performances like for the last few games, the pitching has been pretty good from pretty much everybody. And with that being said, it's holding off the fact that maybe they're not hitting the panic button like everybody else is, And I know we're sitting here like, well, at some point this team needs to have that veteran guy that can come in there that you can be confident in, especially when you go into a playoff series. It's all about pitching. And I don't know how confident anybody is in the starting pitching that we have currently on roster right now. But what I will say is this whole season has been wild to me, where I can't quite put my finger on how they're doing certain things, but certain
it's nonsensical. It really is.
But guys is stepping up.
I know.
And Ben is another story where he's just stepping up and making key starts. I mean, think about it. His first pitch was against Lindor, who all the emotions was there. I'm sure he came out there like, I'm going to show Cleveland what they missing out on, and struck him right out.
Hit him with that changeup.
Yeah, struck him out.
And all his pitches, the crazy part about Lively so far is he's not like a one-pitch wonder where it's, hey, he's got a killer fastball.
No, he got some stuff.
His two-seamer's been good. His changeup's been nasty. And it's not like it's the first time these teams or these players are seeing him. He's not a rookie. He's been around the block a couple of times. He's played for 4 different teams. And all of a sudden, he has little runs on his fastball and a little dip in his changeup that we hadn't seen in the last 2-3 years from Ben Lively. And it's a kudos to the Guardians for getting the most out of him. It's a kudos to Ben Lively for continuing to believe in himself that this was still the capable caliber pitcher he was always able of being. And also to Jason and your point, we're 50 games in essentially now.
Yeah.
That's a third of the season. Like at some point, you do have to shift your mindset from, oh, it's a good start, maybe a little fluky, to I can't explain it, but hell, I'm not going to try to argue it because it continues to happen night after night after night. 3-1 win yesterday. The bullpen completely shuts down the Mets. Outside of the one home run he allowed, Lively was unhittable, and offensively, David Fry and Kyle Manzardo provided the spark. It's a bunch of guys who you didn't expect before the year to be these key contributors on a night in, night out basis, but night in and night out, we're seeing different guys step up in the biggest ways.
Jason, I'm about this close to going to purchase me a David Fry jersey. That dude is nice, man. Like, he come in and he just hit the clutch stuff. He make the big plays happen. And I don't know why. Is he now in the everyday rotation now? Or is he still
not quite every day. He mashes lefties. He
clearly.
And he's flexible. He can play. The fact he can catch is huge. He can play multiple spots. He's turned into a weapon for them, and I can't believe we're saying that. I remember he was in the opening day lineup. I'm like, what is David Fry doing in the opening day lineup?
But he was good then. He was solid there.
He hit well on opening day, and he hasn't stopped hitting since. And Stephen Vogt has just done an incredible job of managing the bullpen, of knowing when to play guys, or where to bat them in the lineup. He said all the right buttons, man. Like, this guy was touted as the Guardians got a home run higher, and you just weren't sure because of his inexperience and the fact that he really hasn't been a coach long at all.
Yeah.
But he's absolutely nailed it 2 months in. It's great to see.
He's hit every button right in the lineup.
Yeah.
His use of the bullpen, which it's still early. It may eventually, they may run out of arms, but outside of that little stretch with Gaddis, I feel like he's utilized the bullpen almost perfectly. Last night, another example where boom, 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 and Clase's been incredible. Almost everyone in the bullpen, outside that one, it was Atlanta, and who else did he struggle against? Gaddis. It was that 3-game stretch.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta. But outside that little stretch, their bullpen's been incredible too. And they have found different ways. Some nights it's the offense, some nights it's the pitching, some nights it's the starter, some nights it's the bullpen, and you really don't know what you're going to get from this team on a night in, night out basis other than the fact they're going to be competitive as hell, and they have a damn good chance to win a ball game.
I love the way Sunday he went after Bybee, that Vogt went out and talked to Bybee on his last batter. He's screwing around with Kirilloff. Kirilloff can't hit the side of a barn right now, and he's screwing around and walks Kirilloff on 4 pitches, and Vogt went out to the mound and just sort of like told him, go get him. Like, right now, strike this guy out. This is your last batter. Go after him. And Bybee had a little bit something left, put a little bit extra juice on it. He got the strikeout, and you saw the reaction of Tanner coming off the mound. That was a great moment, I thought, for manager to go out there. Normally, anytime the manager goes out there, he's going out there to take the pitcher out, and that's it. But that time, he had a message to send of stop screwing around and go get this guy. And Tanner did that. And it's just another sign of, like, he's ready, of Stephen Vogt being ready for the moment.
I think that it's as much as we love Tito and everything that he did, I think that maybe this locker room just needed a new voice.
Sometimes it happens,
absolutely.
And not saying that they don't respond to Tito or they don't respect Tito. That's not the case at all. I think everybody loves Tito, but clearly it was just it kind of ran its course. Like, they just needed something new in there, a new young guy that can bring some energy, and we seeing the results from it every game.
And we've talked about that. I felt it. I really felt it at the winter meetings in Nashville, where everyone wanted to be respectful of Tito and the job that he did here, and obviously just the respect that the entire organization had for him. So they're trying to dance around and say it was time, while not crapping on Tito, for lack of a better phrase. They wanted to show him reverence while also saying we had reached the point where it was time for exactly what you just said. It was time for a fresh voice. It was time for fresh eyes. It was time for new blood to come in here because things had very much gotten stale.
We kind of figured that last year at the trade deadline, but it was a point of the season where they had a shot to, like, still make a run to try to make the playoffs. It was like late. I can't remember exactly when, but they, like, completely just gave up. And it was just like, every time you watched them, you could tell it was just like, eh.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if that's the case, then it is over.
It's not just baseball. That proverbial your manager or your coach's message just runs hollow at some point. It happens in all sports. Pete Carroll, I mentioned him as a couple examples. Like, great coach. You played for Pete.
Pete is a great coach.
He'd been in Seattle for over a decade. At some point, sometimes you just need a new voice to reinvigorate the troops.
Yep.
And it feels like whatever difference between Tito and Stephen Vogt that the Guardians are experiencing firsthand, it has re-energized the entire clubhouse, the offense, the pitching, and everyone's lived. It's crazy they're winning without everyone hitting and pitching to the level that we expect and they're capable of.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're still winning, I think, proves Stephen Vogt and the change was necessary's message even more, because it's not just the players having these incredible seasons. It's all the little things coming together that make a ball club good that we're seeing provide and lead to wins for Cleveland.
When the last time we had like this good of a start? Because right now they second in the AL.
Most of Tito teams got out. Not all of them. I think there was a couple years where he got out. They got off to good starts in April and start of May. But usually his teams started slowly and then got hot when you want to get hot. And that's the question with this team: is can they sustain? Like, they've been great through April and May. Where are they going to be in July and August? Because the one thing about Terry's teams is even when they started slowly, they were building and building and building and building to where they were playing their best ball in the second half of the season, which obviously is what you want.
Well, hopefully, due to the fact that this change just happened, those players are kind of conditioned a little bit to
keep peaking.
To peak and keep going up as the season goes. That hopefully that happens for this season, because I don't want it to be one of those seasons like the Cavs last year. They win 50 games, everybody's happy, and then boom, we out the first round. Like, that sucks.
But it's also expectations. Like the Cavs, and we'll get back to the Guardians real quick, but Cavs' expectation was to win a playoff series, hopefully go deep, make a playoff run. The Guardians' expectation this year, their over-under in Vegas on the win total was right around 500.
Yeah, well.
So even if they get off to a hot start and then don't have necessarily the playoff success and peak in August like we saw with the Terry teams, or the Tito teams, I think it's just your expectation going into the season will determine how you feel about them kind of regressing to maybe the mean, and/or them staying as a, team that's on pace for 100 wins right now.
I just want y'all.
They're on pace for 100 wins right now, and they're top 10 in home runs, which I knew you were going to say.
Come on now.
I got to give it to you.
So far, he's been right. And it's been other guys contributing. A name we haven't mentioned in a while is Stephen Kwan, because he's been injured with the hamstring injury. Yesterday, at his media availability, Stephen Vogt said he'll be able to begin his rehab assignment in 7 to 10 days. He took batting practice yesterday for the first time since injuring his hamstring. Jason, do you have any idea we'll maybe be able to see Stephen Kwan back in the lineup for the Guardians? I know it's a hamstring's finicky, but...
Yeah, they're finicky. I'd say 2 weeks. If he's going to start a rehab assignment in 7 to 10 days, he's not going to need long down there. Like, this guy's a professional hitter. 2-3 games for hitters, that's all you need. Pitching is far different. You got to get stretched out. It's a couple of starts coming back from injury. Hitters, 2 or 3 days, and if he starts it, let's say 8-9 days, 2 or 3 days on a rehab assignment, he'll be back.
Travel
in 2
day,
weeks.
so 2 weeks.
What was his exact injury? Strained hamstring, pulled hamstring?
Acute hamstring strain, I think it was.
Okay, because I strained my hamstring my last preseason game when I was with the Cowboys. First of all, that was the first time I ever did it. It hurt like heck.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh.
And there's no recovery besides rest.
Yeah.
Like, that's
so it took me, but I was young, which he's young. It took me, I'd say 3.5 weeks to get back to like fine, where it was no pain. I could run and be back to myself. So how long has he been out? It's been about 3 weeks, right? 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, the initial timeline was about 4 weeks, I think, and I think this is tracking right along that.
Ant was at the game. Ant, was it May 4th? Is that the game you went when he injured it? Because wasn't it the Stephen Kwan bobblehead night?
Yeah, it was when they had his bobblehead. He ran from about middle of left field all the way over to the stands and caught a pop fly, yeah. And he walked away fine. I didn't even notice him go off. I don't think he went off. I think when they switched, he just never came back.
Well,
so that was 17 days ago.
Well, when you pull it initially, like, your adrenaline is running. Like, for me, when I pulled mine, like, I felt it because I was on kickoff. I felt it, but I'm like, maybe that ain't, maybe it's just a little, So I went back out there and I played another series of defense, but it was clear, like, I can't really run like I used to. So that's what that sounded like right there, is that the adrenaline was rushing. Yeah, he ran off the field and he looked fine. But when it hit, once you sit down, it's over.
It tightens up.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's like if you tweak your ankle playing basketball.
You better keep going.
Lace your shoe up as tight as
Tighten it
possible.
up.
Don't take the
As
shoe
soon as
off.
you take it off, it's going to balloon up. So he heard on May 4th. So it was 17 days ago. That's
So
2.5 weeks. So that
I
timeline
put about
is
4 weeks.
That
yeah.
timeline's right in line with what you said and Jason's prediction. Do you think timing-wise, he's obviously an incredible hitter. It's actually funny. We update the season hit totals for the Guardians every day. Monday was the first time Jimenez or anyone had passed Kwan
passed him. He
at the
hasn't
top,
played
and he
in
hasn't played in
2 weeks.
2 weeks, exactly. He was at 47 hits. Jimenez and Ramirez now has both passed him, but he was number one by a long shot
And
for
the
a
funny
couple
thing
weeks.
is, as soon as he come back,
He's going right back
he
up.
gonna
Yeah.
catch him right back.
Do you think his timing, though, Jason? He was off to an incredible start, 47 hits in 32 games. 2-3 games in AAA, enough to get your timing back for a hitter of that caliber?
Yeah, because this is what this guy does. Like, this isn't – some guys, if they're playing above their skis a little bit, you worry about regression and can they get hot again. Not with him, because he's just a natural, being able
stays
to
hot.
to put the barrel on the ball. So I don't think he's going to hit 350 all year. I don't see any reason he's not going to hit 320, 330 this year. So – and the fact that he's getting to more power was a big point of emphasis over the winter for him. And I think we talked about it before, where he was actually practicing swinging and missing just to get used to that feeling, because that's something he never does. But they're willing to trade 15, 20 points in batting average if it means an extra 5 or 6 or 7 home runs. That's a good trade, considering how well he can hit. But am I worried about him going into a prolonged slump when he comes back? No. I mean, every hitter slumps at some point. But this isn't
Nothing
a guy
too serious.
this isn't a guy I don't fear going 0 for 21 or 0 for 22.
Speaking of slumps and maybe breaking out of them, Kyle Manzardo had 106 exit velo on his RBI double yesterday, Jason. From my opinion, I'm curious what you guys see.
It's a beautiful shot.
He started to look a little more comfortable back there. Not pressing may not be the right word, because even his first hit, and we talked about it when it happened, he waited till the last second to get his hands around, and it was ended to be a single to left field. But that was his hardest hit and arguably his best swing as a pro last night. And I'm hoping that's going to build a little confidence as he gets more comfortable in the box seeing Major League pitching. That the Kyle Manzardo numbers we saw in AAA start to become a little more of the Kyle Manzardo numbers we see here in the majors. And that was an absolute piss missile to left center. I mean, he absolutely hit that right off the barrel. It's 106.1 exit velo according to StatCast. It's hard to put a better swing on a baseball than that right there.
You didn't see your little Mario.
Yeah, you weren't on camera, but Tyvus just replicated
That's what he did. That's
the Manzardo celebration.
Yeah, it's the team celebration. He's settling in. He's getting more comfortable in the box. Clearly, he's getting more comfortable in the majors, and hopefully that continues, because the fear, obviously, is that he has to go back down, and you don't want that. You want, once the guy comes up here, you want him to stick. And we're starting to see what they see, why they traded for him, why they're willing to give up Aaron Savali, their best pitcher at the time last year, to get him. His swing is so natural. And you know what? Now I see it. I've said a couple times, Chris Valleca said in spring training, the Guardians hitting coach compared him to Wade Boggs. And now when you see his stance and you see his swing with that mustache, I totally get what Valleca's talking about, because he looks exactly like Wade Boggs in the box.
You know, I want you to know something. Can I see that video just one more time?
The swing?
No, yeah, let me see the hit one
Before
more time.
you play it, let me guess. This is Tyvus going to say, this is exactly how when Jay Crawford pitches to me, I'm going to take him to left center.
See, you think you know me and you don't. That's not what I was going to
okay.
say.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
see
see
this
it
video.
and I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So you see this hit, right? I want you to look at that center fielder. See that? He mistimed it. He was too far ahead. It looked like me last year in Cardell softball game. It happens where you can't really tell the projection or the trajectory of the ball.
He's not catching that under any circumstance.
Yes, he is.
No,
Because
he's
he was too far ahead.
That hit off the wall, Tyvus.
No, it did not hit off the wall.
Play it
hit
again.
before
No, it
the
didn't.
wall.
Mike, I don't think it hit off the wall.
Did it bounce
Thank
before the
you.
wall?
The announcers were saying he just let it go over his head.
See?
He lost it.
See?
There's no way he's catching that ball.
It bounced right for the ball. He's not catching that ball.
Y'all need to cut it out. Listen, I can play y'all in the majors because they let stuff like that happen. So if that happens to a professional,
Tyvus, you
why
dropped a
can't I not?
softball that was 3 feet out of the infield.
well,
It's a big difference than trying to catch a 106-mile-an-hour rocket off Kyle Manzardo's
So let me ask
bat.
you this: would you say that was it impressive the amount of ground I covered to even have a chance?
The fence was 200 feet, Tyvus.
Stop doing
I don't know
that.
about Tyvus, but
Like,
Tyler
this
Freeman
is
would've caught
sad. Nobody want to give nobody. Look, when people do things right, I give credit all the time.
You dropped the ball. What'd you do right?
For some odd reason, when it's me, nobody want to say Tyvus did great. Like, I didn't cover a lot of ground. I took off like a bat out of AG double hockey sticks to get there. And it was impressive for a guy who, like me, who hasn't really sprinted on a while. Like,
You were moving.
thank you.
You moved too far. Too fast.
Clearly, it's the stopping part. When you get older, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the start, it's the stopping. The brakes is not like they used to be.